welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to one of my favorite videos that I film every single year, and that is my entire owned TBR video. I love putting these videos out for you guys. I don't love filming them and editing them, but once they are all put together, it's always so freaking satisfying. So today I'm going to be sharing with you every single book that is unread on my TBR. It's going to be a lot. I'm hoping that the number is less than last year because I did a lot of unhauling. I have tried to cull down my TBR just a little bit. I don't know how well it's working, but I tried. So we're going to go through everything. There'll be a counter on the screen. You will know before I know, but editing me will know before you know. So hopefully the number is better. If not, I might just cry. But it's okay. If you see any books on here that you think that I absolutely have to read, please do let me know down in the comments below so that I can use that as my subscriber recommendations when it comes up on my TBR game. So any books on here that you're like, Kaylani, why haven't you read that yet? Put it down in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. But without further ado, it's going to be a long video, so let's get into it. Since the last time that I filmed this video, I have changed up my bookshelf organization. So this time it'll be by genres. So right now we're going to start with fantasy romance. The first one we have is The Emperor of Evening Stars and Dark Harmony by Lauren Thalassa. King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. Blood Crown by Elizabeth Brown and Tori Heat. A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Deal with the Elf King by Elise Kova. A Throne of Shadows by Tasonia Odette, White Raven by J.L. Whale, and last for the fantasy romances we have Inescapable and Intuition by Amy Bartle. Next up we have self-published romances and dark romances. So we have The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan, The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, Feel My Pain by K.A. Marican, Make Me Hate You by Candy Steiner, Second Chance Contract by M. Robinson, Dark Notes by Pam Godwin, The Blood Roses Volume 1 and Volume 2 by Callie Hart, Promises and Pomegranates by Sav R. Miller, A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, Hideaway and Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas, Hooked by Emily McIntyre, Blockshot by Kennedy Ryan, Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armaz, Addicted to You by Kristen and Becca Ricci, Twisted Hate and Twisted Lies by Anna Huang, and The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. We are now moving on to traditionally published romances. We have Without Merit, Confess, It Starts With Us, Ugly Love, Hopeless and Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, Isn't It Romantic and A Very Merry Bookmas by Lisa K. Adams, One Day in December by Josie Silver, The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless, Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, A Little Bit Country by Brian D. Kennedy, Open Water by Caleb Azuma Nelson, Love Her or Lose Her, and My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, The Dating Playbook by Farrah Roshan, Written in the Stars by Alexandria Belfler, The Hookup Dilemma by Constance Gillum, If I Never Met You by Mahari McFarlane, Mistletoe and Mr. Right by Sarah Morgenthaler, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne, Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochran, Playing the Palace by Paul Rudnick, Ties That Tether by Jane Agaro, and finally The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zio Axelrod. Somehow I Missed Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, and Still You and After You by Jojo Moyes. Next up, we're going to tackle YA contemporaries. First up, we have A Quiet Kind of Thunder by Sarah Bernard, Alex Approximately by Jen Bennett, The Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, Some Mistakes Were Made by Kristen Dwyer, Everything Everything by Nicola Yoon, Pride by Ibiza Boy, The Henna Wars by Adiba Jigradar, As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper, A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow by Laura Taylor Namey, All This Time by Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott, Ophelia After All by Raquel Marie, Always Never Yours by Emily Wimberly and Austin Sigmund Broca, Opposite of Always by Jason Reynolds, Off the Record by Cameron Garrett, The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton, A List of Cages by Robin Rowe, Jackpot by Nick Stone, The Stars and the Blackness Between Them, I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman, Kings, Queens, and In-Betweens by Tanya Boteju, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, Why We Fly by Kimberly Jones and Gilly Siegel, and lastly Transcendent Kingdom by Yagasi. Our next genres are mystery, thrillers, and horrors, both YA and adult. Girls with Sharp Sticks by Suzanne Young, Sorrowland by River Solomon, The Cousins by Karen M. McManus, Summer Suns by Lee Mandello, Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, The Shadows by Alex North, Portrait of a Thief by Grace D. Lee, Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, No Exit by Taylor Adams, Mexican Gothic by Silvio Moreno Garcia, Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole, Monday's Not Coming, and White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson, Payback by Kristen Simmons, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, How to Hang a Witch, and Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather, and finally Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Ameti. And if I butcher any of these authors' names, I am so sorry. Next, we're going to tackle graphic novels and manga. So we have Tea-Dragon Festival by Kay O'Neill, Death Note Volume 1, Persepolis Volume 1, and Persepolis Volume 2 by Mar Jane Satrapi, Lore Olympus Volume 3 by Rachel Smythe, Monstrous Volume 1, and Monstrous Volume 2 by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takade, Lumberjanes Volume 2 and Volume 3, Saga Volume 4 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan, Paper Girls Volume 2 by Brian K. Vaughan, Fine Print by Sejapan Sejic, and lastly, Extraordinaries and The Steel Prince by V.E. Schwab. Then we have some smaller categories, including adult contemporary, magical realism, and historical fiction. First up, we have The Mothers by Britt Bennett, Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen, Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Dare, Anxious People, Us Against You, and A Man Called Ove by Frederick Bachman, Shuggy Bane by Douglas Stewart, Room by Emma Donoghue, More Than This by Patrick Ness, The Book Thief by Marcus Suzak, Beloved by Toni Morrison, City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, and Lovely War by Julie Berry. Up next, we have nonfiction, classics, and poetry. Boys in the Boat by Daniel James Brown, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria by Beverly Daniel Tatum, Blackbirds in the Sky by Brandy Colbert, Memorial Drive by Natasha Trethewey, Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, Maybe You Should Talk to Somebody by Lori Gottlieb, Big Friendship by Aminatou Sow and Anne Friedman, Becoming by Michelle Obama, A Promised Land by Barack Obama, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, 10% Happier by Dan Harris, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Catherine Dowdy, Home is Not a Country by Safia Ahilo, Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things by Amanda Lovelace, I Would Leave If I Could by Halsey, Pillow Thoughts by Courtney Pepperneal, A Collection of Poems by Rumi, Breakable Things by Katie Wismer, Staying Strong 365 Days a Year by Demi Lovato, The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. We are now moving into all of my mass market paperbacks. Most of them are adult fantasy, except for one. And that one happens to be The One by John Mars, Red Sister and Grey Sister by Mark Lawrence, A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin, Ship of Magic, Mad Ship, and Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb, Moon Called, Iron Kissed, and Bloodbound by Patricia Briggs, Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson, Lover Reborn, Lover at Last, The Shadows, The Beast, The Chosen, The Sinner, Where Winter Finds You, A Warm Heart in Winter, and Covet, all by J.R. Ward. We are now moving on to YA fantasy. This is a big list, so buckle your seatbelts. We're going to be here for a while. First up, we have The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli, Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen, Fallen Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes, The Ivory Key by Akisha Raman, We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal, Ballad and Dagger by Daniel Jose Olden, Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson, Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, Daughters of Neri by Renee K. Amayo, Gilded by Marissa Meyer, The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah, Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, Crown of Feathers, and Wings of Shadow by Nikki Palpretto, King's Bane by Claire Legrand, A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir, King's Cage by Victoria Aveyard, This Poisoned Heart by Kaylin Bayron, Forest of Souls by Lori M. Lee, Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet, Witches Steeped in Gold by Shannon Smart, Skin to the Sea by Natasha Bowen, We All Fall Down by Rose Zabo, Song Below Water by Bethany C. Morrow, Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer, Three Dark Crowns by Kendari Blake, Crave by Tracy Wolfe, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, The Beautiful by Renee Audier, Ember of Night by Molly E. Lee, Sisters of the Snake by Serena and Sasha Nanua, Twin Crowns by Catherine Doyle and Catherine Weber, The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, A Song of Wraith and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown, Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor, The Gilded Wolves by Richani Chokshi, The Bone Witch by Rin Gepetto, The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, Supernatural Academy Year 1 by Jamin Eve, Raybearer by Jordan Ifueko, And I Darken by Kirsten White, Caraval by Stephanie Garber, Fireborn by Rosaria Munda, Beast of Prey by Iona Gray, Ace of Shades by Amanda Foody, All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman, Fable by Adrienne Young, Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone, One a Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, The Vine Witch, and The Glamourist by Luann G. Smith, Bonecryer's Moon and Bonecryer's Dawn by Catherine Purdy, Occulta by Maya Motain, Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, Incendiary and Illusionary by Zorita Cordova, Lady Midnight, Lord of Shadows, Queen of Air and Darkness, Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of Lost Souls, The Shadowhunters Codex, The Red Scrolls of Magic, and Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy, all by Cassandra Clare, Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising by Lee Bardugo, Gods and Monsters by Shelby Mahurin, Merlin and the Secret Coven 1, 2, and 3, all by Bella Forrest, Half-Blood, Pure, Deity, Apollyon, and Sentinel, all by Jennifer L. Armentrout, Graceling, Fire, and Bitter Blue, all by Kristen Kishore, How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories by Holly Black, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, Frostbite, Shadowkissed, Blood Promise, Last Sacrifice, and Spiritbound, all by Rochelle Mead, Dreams That Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross, Among the Beasts and Briars by Ashley Poston, The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd-Jones, The Depths by Nicole Lesperance, The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, Gallant by V.E. Schwab, An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan, Princess of Souls by Alexander Christo, Afterlove by Tanya Byron, A Forgery of Roses by Jessica S. Olson, Together We Burn by Isabel Ibanez, Sorcery of Thorns, and Vespertine by Margaret Rogerton, Lore by Alexander Bracken, Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor, House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland, Wild is the Witch by Rachel Griffin, A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee, The Scorpio Races by Maggie Stiefvater, The Witch King by H.E. Edgmond, The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinowski, Year of the Reaper by Micaiah Lucifer, The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert, Star Daughter by Shafita Thakrar, Master of One by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett, Jade Fire Gold by June C.L. Tan, and last for YA Fantasy we have Catwoman Soulstealer, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash, all by Sarah J. Maas. Okay, up next we are going to talk about adult fantasy. So we have Upon a Burning Throne by Ashok K. Banker, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab, Rage of Dragons by Evan Winters, The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, City of Dusk by Tara Sim, Bone Shard's Daughter by Andrea Stewart, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, Circe by Madeline Miller, The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, The Poppy War and the Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, Dark Dawn by J. Kristoff, The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, The Hero of Ages, Way of Kings Part 1, and Way of Kings Part 2, all by Brandon Sanderson, Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb, Dante Valentine, The Complete Series by Lilith St. Crow, Kingdom of Copper and the Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty, The Shadow of What Was Lost by James Islington, The Ruin of Kings and the Name of All Things by Jen Lyons, Malice by John Gwynne, Spells for Forgetting by Adrian Young, The Book Eaters by Sun Yi Dean, Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, Northern Wrath, City of Stairs by Robert Jackson Bennett, The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood, The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien, The Black Prism by Brent Weeks, The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden, Traitor's Blade by Sebastian D. Castell, Jade City by Fonda Lee, The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, and The Consumption of Magic by T.J. Klune, but I don't have the physical copy with me, Peace and Turmoil by Elliot Brooks, and Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. We are moving on to sci-fi, dystopians, utopians, all of that stuff, and that is YA and adult. So we have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, Kindred by Octavia E. Butler, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, Crier's War and Iron Heart by Nina Varela, Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, Starsight by Brandon Sanderson, When the Time Comes by Amani Hayes, The Ones We're Meant to Find by Joan He, Iron Widow by Zaran J. Zhao, Leviathan Wakes by James S. A. Corey, Poster Girl by Veronica Roth, and The Space Between Worlds by Micaiah Johnson. Our second to last section today is going to be middle grades, so let's get into those. We have The Mirrorwood by Deva Fagan, Mapmaker by Lisa Moore Rame, The House with Chicken Legs by Sophie Anderson, Kiki Kalira Breaks a Kingdom by Sungju Mandana, 12th by Janet Key, Piecing Me Together by Renee Watson, A Rover Story by Jasmine Warga, Black Brother by Jewel Parker Rhodes, J.R. Silver Writes Her World by Melissa Desori, Amira and Hamza by Samira Ahmed, Willow Dean by Catherine Applegate, The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner, The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane by Julia Noble, Fenris and Mott by Greg Van Eekhout, Amari and the Great Game by Vivi Alston, Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab, Land of Stories The Wishing Spell, and The Enchantress Returns by Chris Colfer, A Boy Called Christmas, and The Girl Who Saved Christmas by Matt Haig, Palo Santiago and the River of Tears by Taylor K. Mejia, The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, Aru Shah and the End of Time by Rachani Chakshi, The Last Shadow Warrior by Sam Sabiti, The Marvelers by Danielle Clayton, Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kawame Mbalia, Strange World Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski, The Night Silver Promise by Annalise Avery, and A Comb of Wishes by Lisa Stringfellow. Alright, and the last and final section that we're going to talk about today is not genre-oriented. This is where I keep all of my beautiful sprayed and stenciled edges, so we'll talk about all of those. First up, we have Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff, The Darkening by Sonia Mara, Indigo Ridge by Debney Perry, Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lin Tan, This Woven Kingdom by Tahara Mafi, Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn, Belladonna by Adeline Grace, Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin, Swoon by Lauren Rowe, Be the Girl by K.A. Tucker, A Marvelous Light by Faye Ramarsky, Babel by R.F. Kuang, Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo, A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, Little Thieves by Margaret Owen, The Revenge Pact by Isla Madden Mills, Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria, By a Thread by Lucy Score, These Hollow Vows, and These Twisted Bonds by Lexi Ryan, This Vicious Grace by Emily Thide, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon, and finally the last two books, The Atlas 6 and The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. Okay, we have done it. We have made it through my entire own TBR. Holy moly, that was a lot of work. I hope that you enjoyed it. Here is the big whopping number. Hopefully Hopefully it's better than last year. I really hope it is, but we shall see. I would love to know down below what books you think I need to read ASAP so I can put them high on my radar. And then feel free to let me know any of your thoughts on any of the books I mentioned today. I would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. I love you very much. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Baby, turn it down.